Hey, my name is Hunter. Today is day 16 of making my Titanfall game, and today I want to fix up some more of the sound animations, sorry, the sounds for stuff in my game. So like casting ability, all that type of stuff. So it's going to be a bit of a little one, but I also want to clean up more of the movement side of things, and make it feel more like a proper game. And in the future, I'm going to be adding more assets to enemies and stuff like that. I found a place where I can get free 3D assets that I can put into my game that are low poly, so it won't be a big stress on the game and stuff like that. And I wanted to talk about what I worked on yesterday. Yesterday I worked on the weapon sway animation, the muzzle flash, and shell casings. And one thing I forgot to show yesterday was I fixed the gun pickup label. So before it was kind of like terrible, I would say. It's not the best still, but it didn't really, when I turned, it was only in one spot. So when I turned, the letters wouldn't turn with the camera. So I fixed that up so that it would turn with the camera. So I'll share my screen and I'll go to the Godot. So as you can see, there's a sniper there, and it follows along with where I am standing. So if I walk like this, you can see that it follows along. Whereas before, it would stay like that no matter where I was walking, and you couldn't really tell what it was the whole time. And yeah, so that's a bit of what I did yesterday. Now today I want to, as I said, add sounds to the stuff. So when I jump, I'm probably gonna have like just a simple boing type thing, and whatever else. It's actually really funny. I used to want to be a voice actor. Kind of little backstory. I always thought voice acting was cool until I heard the sounds that people make for like taking damage and stuff like that, and I just imagined what it would be like sitting in a room like this, just making random noises for voice acting. That made me not want to do it because that is really funny and embarrassing to imagine recording yourself making like taking damage noise and stuff, and heard some funny sounds when looking for sounds. But without further ado, I'm going to go do some coding and find some more sounds for my game, and I will be right back with the updated side of things. Alright, I'm back. My camera's being really weird now. I don't know why. Don't know what the heck the go is with it. It just has a mind of its own sometimes. I think it's when I close OBS and then I reopen it again. So that's a problem that I'm gonna have to test out. But I'm done. I've added some sounds. Not all the sounds, but some more sounds. And I also added a vehicle, which was by far the most annoying thing to code in existence. For me at least anyways. That was like a very tedious process. But for now, I'm going to show off my my what's it called? I can't think of the word. My game. That's what it is. And sort of show off what the go is. So I'll show off the vehicle because the vehicle is probably the coolest. Very basic vehicle. It's just a rectangle, as you can see. This is my most amazing $1 million vehicle. I spent so much money on this vehicle. It's crazy. But when I enter it, it's got a turning radius. You can see the gun still. You can't see the person. This is what I've got so far for the amount of time this took. This took me ages to do. It was a lot of trial and error and everything. But it drives. You can do some Tokyo drifts, kind of. Not really. It just drives forwards. It can drive backwards as well. I'm driving backwards right now. As you can see. Enemies are chasing after me, I think. No, they're on the track. Alright, cool. But yeah, this is the vehicle. Very basic, very simple. I turned off the footstep sound for now. As you can see, I just took it out because I added a enemy death to the thing. So I'll shoot the enemy. As you can see, enemy dies. Very not the most amazing noise ever, but still, it's a sound for the enemy dying. I thought it was like kind of retro, old school type thing. I got a jump sound, and I've got a fireball sound. Oh, that's not the ability. Yeah, I got the fireball sound. Now that was pretty simple to add the sounds to it, and it actually didn't take me that long to find the sounds. So that's where I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try and create a vehicle because I want a vehicle in my game, and that was a long process of making a vehicle. So I had so many problems with making the vehicle. One of them being that I wouldn't enter the vehicle. It was saying that I was entering the vehicle when I wasn't entering the vehicle. And yeah, and I had problems where the camera would spawn as the vehicle when I went to enter the games, and my character was moving around, but I was in the vehicle view. And then I had a problem with the vehicle not, the camera not actually staying with the vehicle and turning with the vehicle. I wanted the turning to be able to be done with the mouse, so it's like going where you look. The vehicle just goes forward and back, and then when you turn with a thing. But yeah, this is the script that I've got. So I've got an interact area, which is just a simple area 3D with a collision shape. And then I've also got the unhandled input. So this is basically me moving my mouse and it just going left and right, or however my mouse is looking. Got the physics process. This was a lot of trial and error for it to actually work. I was messing with this for quite a long time. But for the simplicity's sake, I had to add an exit cooldown because there was a problem with me actually entering the vehicle. I would exit it straight away in one simple button press. So I had to add a cooldown of 0 seconds, I believe it is. Yeah, for some reason 0 seconds just worked. And yeah, but now if the input action is pressed interact, so that's I had to add an interact key, and that's currently just T. And in the future, I'm going to make it where you can customize your buttons and whatever else. But for now, I'm just setting the buttons as is because I'm the only one that's playing. And then I had to add a rotation to the camera. So the camera gets handled in the physics process, not in the unhandled input, which I was doing for a while. And that was just causing many problems. I had a problem at one point where the camera was, I think my thing just lagged then. Hopefully it didn't lag. My camera was being used for in the unhandled input and the physics process, so it was like jittering. It was like trying to fight each other, so that was a problem. Got simple variables, just input directions and going forward. But yeah, basic forward and back basically. And then got an else for linear velocity, so it just moves towards forward and back again. I'm probably double upping here. There's probably a simpler way to do this, but this is how I managed to get it to work. So a lot of prints here. I probably don't need this print anymore because it works. But I was having print to like figure out where the problem was going and all this other stuff. But yeah, simple on body entered, just like all the other things. Body name equals player and is not occupied. So when I enter it, the car's not occupied. And then when I actually enter the vehicle, it sets the is occupied to true. So yeah, you'd be surprised at what you're going to add in code if you're not into coding. And yeah, this was a long, tedious process that I had to go through, but it's done now. It's working kind of how I want it to work. And yeah, so I'll be able to copy this code for other vehicles in the future because I want 3. I I had a problem at one point where the vehicle started flying, which I didn't want it to fly just yet. I want to be able to make a vehicle fly on purpose. And I somehow made the vehicle fly at one point. With my movement, it was following the camera, and then it just kept on flying. But this is the enter vehicle part, and this is the exit vehicle part. So basically, short story, long story short, of me explaining this code is basically I've got the vehicle camera, and when I enter the vehicle, I use the vehicle camera rather than the player camera. So the player camera basically disappears until I exit the vehicle. And yeah, I had to mess with the player script as well for the unhandled input, just for basically entering the vehicle. So if event is action interact, which is a keybind that I put in here. So the interact is down here. Interact. Variable basically get the vehicle. And then if vehicle and player are not found, vehicle is occupied. Oh, sorry, if the vehicle player, so basically self and not, basically the player isn't found, the vehicle is then occupied. If that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense and I didn't confuse anyone. But yeah, I added just a simple jump sound like I did last time. So in the player, I got the jump sound. I added an ability sound for Fireball, and I'll have to do this for every other ability. So I've just got the onReady variable just to let it play the sound, and then if ability sound, play the ability sound. So yeah, that's simply the code, and that took a lot of effort to make that vehicle. So if I've confused you, I apologize. I'm doing my best with coder's brain right now. Anyone who's a coder will definitely understand what it's like to try and figure stuff out and it not work for ages, and you just brute force it through trying to figure it out. But yeah, that's today's video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and yeah, I hope you have a most outstanding day, night, whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.